Hi friends, welcome to today's yoga session. My name is Jenny and today I have a sequence for all the runners. So you can do this little sequence after your run to stretch out, or you can do it on your rest days. But basically everybody can do this sequence even if you're not a runner, because it's a super delicious, short and sweet stretch for the legs, for the back, so it should feel really good. It could be kind of helpful if you have two yoga blocks. If you don't have any blocks at home, you could use two books of the same size. If you don't have anything that you could use right now, that's totally fine. We will always manage without props. Also quite nice would be if you're next to a wall where we will finish up our practice. But even so, if you don't have a wall, just maybe you have a block or a little cushion and I will show you an alternative. So everybody can join this practice wherever you are. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos, and feel free to leave me any comments. Let me know what you thought of this session. Let me know what kind of topics you're most interested in so I can create some more helpful videos for you. I will also link my online yoga courses in the description below. So if you want to dive deeper into the yoga practice, you can check out my programs in the description below this video. So let's get started. We jump right into the practice. So let's meet on our mat. So we start on all fours. That means we bring the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And we begin to stretch at our back. So we push ourselves away from the floor, around the back, take the navel in and bring the chin into the chest. And we will stay here for a little bit. Feel free to close your eyes or rest them gently down on the floor. And you can either just stay here and consciously breathe into that stretch of your spine, or maybe you want to make some small intuitive movements. When you feel where your body needs those little extra stretches right now, maybe stretching out the sides, taking a couple of conscious breaths here. And then on your next inhale, drop the belly, send the heart forward, gentle curve in the back, lift your chin just slightly, lift your tailbone. And again, we will stay for a little moment. Maybe you want to use this moment to stretch out your neck, move your head very gently. And again, feel free to close the eyes and move with your intuition. Or you softly, slowly feel where you could use that movement right now. And then we will repeat these movements a couple of times together with the breath. So on the exhalation, round the back, draw the navel in, chin into the chest, push the floor away from you. And then on the inhale, drop the belly, send the chest forward, pull the shoulders back just slightly, lift your chin. Exhale, rounding the back, navel and chin in. And inhale, gently arch the back. Beautiful. One more time. Exhale, rounding the back, bring the tailbone down. And inhale, lift it, send the heart forward. Very good. Now come into a neutral position with your spine. Gently draw the navel in. Walk your hands about one length of the hands forward and spread out your fingers. We tuck the toes under. Send the hips back, and then we send the hips up, lifting the knees of the floor for downward facing dog. Now we'll take it easy here for the beginning. So you can walk your feet on the floor, generously bending the legs. So you bring some movement into the back of your legs, into your hip joints. Maybe gently shake your head yes and no. Really try to roll your shoulders away from the ears. Your upper arms are rotated outwards, so the insides of your elbows are kind of looking towards each other, even slightly forward. So your neck should have a lot of space. And then you really press through the hands into the floor and lift up through the shoulders. Take the ribs in, take the navel in. You can bend the knees generously for this. So you can really push those seat bones up to the ceiling. Try to avoid rounding the back and try to avoid overarching it, but create that long line. Press your belly towards the thighs. And then with that long back, slowly start to straighten your legs a little bit, bringing the heels towards the floor. They don't have to touch. It's more like they're yearning towards the floor, so you can feel that nice stretch in the back of your legs. Doesn't quite matter where you are today. Just see where you can feel that lengthening of the back legs. Maybe take the heels out just a little bit so they're in one line with the little toes. And once you found your position, try not to change anything. Try not to fidget for a moment. Just breathe into that lengthening. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Let go of any tension here. And then step the feet together. We lift the right leg up on the inhale. And on the exhale, we bring the knee into the chest, the shoulders over the wrist. We want to step the foot through between the hands. If it doesn't quite arrive, you just come onto the fingertips. You walk it forward until your ankle is under your knee. And then we drop the left knee down. If you need some cushioning, flip your mat over or put a blanket or a cushion under that knee. And then slowly press into the feet, come from the core, lift up to come in an upright position. Keep your hands on the knee for now. And you don't have to bring the hips too much forward for now, but instead stay upright in your upper body. Bring the tailbone down, lift the pubic bone up. You will feel that stretch in the left groin. This is your hip flexor that's been working quite hard in your run. So let's stay here for a moment. Keep that activity. Pubic bone lifts up towards your navel. Lower belly draws in slightly. Beautiful. Let's stay for another deep breath. Long, conscious breath. Now you can either stay this way or maybe you want to sit a little bit deeper. Your back toes can be tucked or pointed, whatever is more comfortable for your knee. And either you stay this way or you could choose to bring your arms behind the body. Right thumb over the left one, interlacing the fingers and opening the shoulders and the chest. This is just an option. We stay for a couple of more breaths. Really allowing the front side of the body, the left groin to open up here. Beautiful. And if you've interlaced your fingers, release them back down to the ground. We bring the left hand under the left shoulder, opening the upper body, stacking the shoulders, right fingertips pulling up to the sky, and then right fingertips pulling back, gentle twist in the upper body. Either you stay here or just maybe you bend your back leg and see if you can grab a hold of the back foot. This is quite an intense stretch for your quad, for your knee. So if this is a bit much for you today, you just stay in that variation. Let the hips sink down, feel that lengthening of the left groin. Your choice. Stay and breathe. Always want to give some time also to the deeper tissues to allow for the stretch to unfold, to release into the stretch. Now, before you release the foot, if you're holding it, activate your hamstrings, flex the foot, place it down gently. Bring the arm up and forward, placing it on the outside of your right foot. You can walk the right foot in slightly so it's in one line with your knee and your hip. Now we push the hips back. We want to move into the back side of the right leg, the hamstrings. Now, maybe if this is a bit intense for you, now your blocks could come in handy, or your books or whatever you have at hand. So you can give yourself a little bit more height. So see what works for you. If you don't need them, that's great. You can stay on the fingertips. If you need something even higher, just move them closer to you and bring the upper body up. Now what we want to do is send the hip bones back, flex the toes and send the heart forward. You will feel the stretch in the back leg. If this is too much, just bend the leg a little bit, but send the heart forward. Again, take a moment to find your own variation, the expression of this pose that works for you today. And once you have found it, stay and breathe into it. And I don't want you to think that you have to go down, rather really think of creating that length. Sit bones sending back, heels sending forward, creating that length, heart forward, long back. Beautiful. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Whenever you feel you're building up some tension in those deeper stretches, just release through the mouth, letting go of any tension. And then bend that front leg. Walk the hands forward to frame the foot. Tuck the back toes under. Release the knee and step back into your downward facing dog. Now take a moment to walk the legs on the spot. Create some space. Create some softness. Release your neck. And then bring the big toes to touch, changing the sides. Left leg up in the sky. And then step it forward between the hands. Feel free to walk the foot forward until it arrives underneath your knee. Bring the right knee down, maybe with some cushioning. Pull your foot and your knee towards each other. This will give you strength to come up from the ground with the upper body. And we stay here first. And again, don't go too deep. You will lose the stretch, but stay upright in your upper body. Lift the tailbone up. Bring the tailbone down. Lift the pubic bone up. You want to create that length in the right groin. You can even touch your pelvis for a moment and understand where that movement comes from until you find that lengthening. And then we stay and breathe. The face up, the jaws up, the breath flowing. And again, choose to stay here and maybe sink a little bit deeper. Bring the hands behind the body, interlace, left thumb on top of the right one, second side. Lift the heart up, hands away from the bum, and really opening the front side of the body. Your neck stays long, face is relaxed, and you keep breathing. Beautiful. 2 more deep breaths. And then release the hands down. Right hand under the right shoulder. We're stacking the shoulders on top of each other, opening the chest up to the left side, left fingertips pulling up to the sky, and then left fingertips pulling back, opening the chest. Either stay here, send the hips down so you can feel the right side of the body, the groin opening, or maybe bend that leg, grab a hold of that foot as we did on the first side, and again, choose if that works for you today. We stay for a couple more breaths, stretching the front side of our leg. Beautiful. And remember, before you release the foot, activate the hamstring. So you're not just dropping the foot, but you're placing it down very gently. Bring the arm forward, and on the outside of your left foot, walk the left foot in slightly, one line with the knee and the hip, pushing the hips back for the hamstring stretch. See what works for you. Maybe you want to use your props. You can be as high as you want. And even though the second side might be very different from the first one, try to stimulate in a similar way at least, respecting all your differences between the right and the left side. Then again, remember sending the hips back, sending the heart forward. Adjust as much as you need to find a stretch that works for you, where you can stay. We want to stay for a couple of deep breaths. Beautiful. Last deep breath here. And then from here again, bend that left leg, walk the hands forward underneath the shoulders, tuck the right toes, activate the arms, the core, step back into your downward facing dog. Give your legs some nice little steps here, bending the knees. And then bring the knees back down onto all fours. Keep the toes tucked under. Now we walk the hands towards the thighs, sitting up on our heels. Now you want to make sure you're tugging also the little toes under and sit up really, really tall. And this might be a bit uncommon, let's say, because we don't really often stretch the backs of our feet or the soles of our feet, but this is very soothing and releasing if you can just allow it for a moment. Sit upright, feel free to close the eyes. Relax into the sensations of stretching. Beautiful. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Okay, come forward, maybe onto the fingertips. Release the toes, point them, and again sit back onto your heels. Now we want to do the counter stretch of the front of the feet. If this is enough for you, if your knees are very tight or your feet, just stay here resting your hands in your lap, Or maybe you bring the hands behind you and lift the knees off the floor, just as much as comfortable for you. See if that works for you and stay for a couple of breaths. Remember, you can also just stay here, or you can even go a bit higher. You want to feel that lengthening of the shins, of the ankles, of the knees. And stay and breathe. Beautiful. Last deep breath. And bring the knees down. Sit next to your heels, send the legs forward. And make sure you're sitting about the center of your mat. We're going to roll down onto our backs. You can use your hands or just roll back down from the strength of your core, but place yourself down gently. And then bend the right leg in, bring your ankle on top of the left knee. And then we thread our hands between the legs. We grab either the back of our thigh or the shin to pull the left knee close. Flex the right foot and send that knee away from you so you can feel a nice stretch in your right outer hip and your bum. Your shoulders stay relaxed, your neck and your face. And we breathe into that stretch. Beautiful. 2 more deep breaths on the side. And then place the left foot down, bring the right foot next to it, changing the sides, bend the left knee in, flex the foot, ankle on top of the knee, grab a hold of the back right leg of the thigh or the shin, pull them close just as much as comfortable, stretch in the left outer hip, shoulders stay grounded, head stays on the floor, and we breathe. Again, feel free to close the eyes if you're comfortable with that, or just rest them softly. Send your breath where you can feel sensations of stretching. Last deep breath. And then softly release. Maybe pull both knees in just for a moment. Roll from side to side on the lower back. And if it's comfortable, you can roll from front to back, massaging the whole length of the spine. See if that works for you. Otherwise, just come over the side. We will move onto the wall for our final pose that really releases any tension and pressure from the legs. So you move onto your wall and you sit next to the wall really, really closely with your hip. And then you turn around to bring your legs up the wall. And then you lay your upper body back down. You can just stretch out the arms. You can just soften the knees here, even relax the neck. And the longer you stay here, the more you will take the pressure out of your legs. This also stimulates your lymphatic system, your immune system. So feel free to stay here in this resting pose for a while. If you don't have a wall, I will show you another option. So if you're already on your wall, just stay there. For everybody else, grab a block or a cushion. I will show you an alternative. You come back down onto your mat to lay down. Lift your pelvis slightly and place your prop, whatever that is, your block or your cushion, underneath your hips. So you want to elevate the hips over the heart. And then you just raise your legs up. And you can even bend them as well. And just relax. So you want to bring your legs over your hips and your hips over your heart over your head. And for today, I will leave you in this pose. So you can decide, you can stay here for several minutes, just as long as it's comfortable for you. And if you have more time, you can release afterwards and even stretch out on the mat for Shavasana for an extended relaxation phase. It's totally up to you how long you want to stay for today. Make sure you thank yourself for taking the time to take care of your body after your workout or after your day. And from there, I wish you a wonderful day and I hope to see you again in the next video.